Okay, let's see. Stream should be starting. Okay, and I've got no connection apparently. Okay then. Uh, yeah. So I am finally back to doing Gary's mod work. It has been, God, like 3 months or so since I've kind of touched anything related to Gmod in any sort of detail. But anyway, I'm back and I'm working on spawn points. I think is the plan. Well, that's what I've in my head been wanting to work on. So, but also given the time, I'm expecting not many people will join, if any. But who cares? Let's just get through this. So, one of the problems we have with the spawn system is at the moment you do it by map, and every spawn point is just stored in an array, which is not great. So, and then you've got the spawn points are tied hard to a faction, and so that's not great. So instead, spawn points are going to be yeah, they're going to be stored differently. So now, instead of being map and data, you now have map, region ID, spawn data, and then the restrictions as well. So the restrictions will determine things like custom classes, custom ranks, level, any sort of restrictions like that. Um, then based off of information, when a player either spawns in or when we call or recalculate spawn points, they will loop over all spawn points that exist, um, and they will then determine if the spawn point is valid or not for them, and then that will get added to a list of spawn points that they can use. We don't want to call that too often, as there's a high chance there's going to be quite a lot of spawn points. I think technically less than there will be items, so it's probably not too bad to loop over it quite a bit, but there will be. Um, and so we'll most of the time we'll actually be getting spawn points by the map. So yeah, and then spawn data and restrictions. They're both just going to be like JSON tables. Spawn data for the most part will probably contain a position and like an angle, and some other things depending on. But most of the time we'll just do like regions dot get save info, and then the spawn entity is how this will work. And then we might modify things slightly, like increasing the position up by a couple of units or something like that, so that you don't just fall through the world. And then yeah, when you're editing spawns, I guess we're gonna have to make it so that when you press A, a menu pops up because of the restrictions part. Though actually, I don't remember how it works currently. At the same time, this code is yeah. I think you just literally run this command, and I have not run out loaded into the server. Okay. So let's see. There's actually a chance here that I've also just realized I'm not showing that window on all desktops. Yeah, so there is actually a chance that this might break entirely, as the server's not actually been run for ages. Is this how? Yeah, yeah. that's how spawn points are working. Yeah, which is not great. So instead, now what we do is spawn points will just be stored on the character, and every now and then they'll just be recalculated. When So what we could do is we could say if we modify a spawn point, we recalculate the spawn point for the person and the thing, and at the same time there needs to be a way in for which a things can modify the thing, as we'll need to have. So, for example, the planet system, when a planet gets captured, it will change its faction from, let's say, neutral to Jedi. And all spawn points on that planet will need to update from being neutral to being Jedi. Unless there's neutral spawn points that are neutral. Uh, oh, there we go. You can check their faction, and if their faction actually equals neutrality, you just ignore them. Because any spawn point that doesn't have a faction restriction on it. Yeah, or you could just go with if it has a faction restriction on it, it has to change. No, other way. If it doesn't have a faction restriction on it, then no, I don't know. We'll need to figure something out there. Oh, that sounds like some storm. Anyway, yeah, so that is what we're looking at modifying. Okay, let's have a look at how the current spawn system works. So there's a spawn point around here. Okay, so what, do I just use a fizz gun? Yeah, I just use a fizz gun. Okay, cool. So that is very, very basic and very bad. Okay then. So we will change this. So if not is admin, then return end. I was meant to hide it, but I'm pretty sure the shadows still show through. Uh, okay, what happens if I add a function end user and I just like print? Okay, this print did get printed, so yeah, and use does work on them. So this is acceptable of a method. We can do this of just having an end use instead. Okay. And then what we can add instead is do we have an editing end, and then what we can do is just whatever. Um, editing. Whoa, no, no. Um, I mean, this is wrong. This should be language system. Like, this needs to get registered into the language system. But and then we can just do enum dot popup dot error. There we go. Okay. So we have a menu open. Let's just bring this up onto the other side. So we have spawn system is equal to spawn system or itself. Okay, we don't need the entity. What we need is we need information about the spawn point. So that depends on how it's been stored. At this point, when you were doing this, get spawn data, but that's not. So we need restrictions. Restrictions need to be networked. And this entity is just a temporary representation of the data. Um, but let's just call entity get restrictions. Or an empty table, if there are none. Do we need anything else other than that? We do. There will be other information that's needed. I just realized, yeah, we do need other info, which I'm just going to call get data. Let's call it. Yeah, why not? And let's add that into the DAO as well. That's spawn data. Wait, no, this. Maybe it's spawn data. What would this one be? Spawn info. Let's just call it spawn info then. Call it same thing and then just get info instead. And so information will be related towards get data doesn't matter because that's not something that's displayed to the user because we don't modify that. If we modify that, we move the spawn point, the entity around and stuff. So data is gotten from just the position, the angle, and probably what we'll do is we will just spawn we can have actually the player itself spawn on top to show. Yeah, we can just have a render of the entity just there. The appears. Okay. So yeah, so this spawn info will be related to so will be the name and stuff. Okay then. So I'm not too sure about the actual menu itself at the moment. I haven't thought too much about it, but I think just design a fairly generic menu. I should call this admin, and this one admin menu as well. I call this admin menu. There we go, open admin menu. And then we send this over to the client. So we do a net.receive. Spawn menu. Open, and this will actually be admin menu. Open admin menu. Okay, so there we go. No, it's not close, it's on close. There you go. So we're listening for the onClose function, and we just basically send in a message to the server, informing us that the menu's finished. We're done. And then we have some flags and stuff that we actually need to set, and I need to go through and mess with. Because I think either in the most recent Garry's Mod update or the one before. I don't know, I've lost count. I mean, Garry's Mod is weirdly getting lots of updates at the moment, which is really nice. A flag was added that we can now set on entities. That will mean that when we do a map cleanup, then she does get removed. Before you had to include it in the cleanup command that was ran, which isn't feasible, really, unless you write something custom. Okay, sorry about that. Had to mute my mic. Okay, so yeah, so there we go. So we close the menu, we save the points. You might want to return a callback to see if it was successful. Who knows? Okay then, so what do we do from here? So I guess we start sending in the menu, don't we? Every time I do this, I do wonder if I should make like a global just panel table instead of this. Or like menu table. And just do hooked up call. And call like menu spawn system admin menu or something. Instead of just storing it on the game mode table. Might make more sense. But at the same time, if we do that, it's not too difficult to find all the panels. You just do panel underscore and just find it. Okay, so I guess you could also add a cost mechanic as well into it. I don't know how you'd implement that though. That is pain. I mean, that can be a like a to add feature. There's no reason why there can't be a cost mechanic. Okay, so let's make our panel. Okay, it's going for like half a screen. So this is like the panel it likes to make. And it's going for property sheets. Okay. Um. Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't actually remember how to use an S form. I guess I add the restriction button now. Let's just do an S button. Okay. Um. Let's just do demo large, and then just size to content. Okay, so we've done that one. And then I need to remember how to interact with the restriction system. Yes. Where are vendors? Vendors are. Are they really. Are they still not? Oh my goodness, vendors are still. They're still in schema. Wow. How wonderful. There we go. So restrictions copy, name restricts. Yeah. Do we need multiple restrictions for us 1 point? Yeah, why not? To be honest with how often I use this, like. Yeah, this just might want to be added as just something in the restriction system. Let's go to where the restriction system is found. And that's more likely to be down here. Yeah, restriction system, there we go. So editor. There we go, so now we have this one, create multi-editor. Oh, it looks like it's trying to pass in its own utils thing, which is quite nice, quite funny, but sadly not what we are looking for. Callback dot on save. No, new restrictions. And then we just call util.save. Yeah, we could call set restrictions, why not? And then this way we set them and we can save them. I think it's not on close. I don't remember our spec too well. Set PG color, there you go. There we go, this is going to be hideous, but it does get the point across that there's been a modification. Okay. On close, there we go, yeah, there we go. And then we add a... There you go. We set that up. Okay, let's go back over in here now, and then we're gonna need to... That's not what we've called it, is it? To be honest, what we'll do actually here, we'll just change this to also be open, the admin menu. That's misspelled. Where is it? It's down here, isn't it? We don't set it to null, we set it to null. But we set spawn entity to nil because it's unassigned. This works, but I don't like it. Entity save or update. And then I guess we need to build that save or update command. Okay then. So this should technically now work. I can open the menu and close it correctly. So let's run a refresh and let's see how this goes. And as we haven't overridden anything in the core part of the spawn system, everything will still work fine. Which is good, because I don't want to spawn in the default spawn. It's a bit of a pain to get to. Also really should delete some of my characters. Okay, I spawned it. Nice. Let's also just unequip the lightsaber. It spawns. There we go, so if I press it on you, I get a script error, PNL 34. Because I never returned the panel. There you go, that's why. .286. Ah yeah, because the border is defined above. It's a very odd thing to have. There you go, so I can have restrictions now. I can make a restriction. So I can say your faction is this, for example, and your rank. This isn't great because it doesn't. Yeah, this doesn't yet understand. Oh yeah, your rank needs to be associated with your faction. So it probably should actually store in brackets your thing in the autocomplete. Can I do that? I probably can, can't I? No, it isn't actually dependent. It is just name. Okay, sure, that works fine. And then you just save that, and then you can say Sith and is it Darth? Yeah, Sith Darth. And you can save that. Then modifies this to be now green, and now we have a restriction set. It's as simple as that. We've now got the restriction editor in, and we can mess with stuff. There you go. That's what we can do. We can go. We can have like a planet underscore name maybe, And then we can always just add a neutral spawn on itself. So yeah, you can just go with like you could just call it planet underscore capture spawn, modify it, and just have your faction in here of Sith or Jedi. And then if you have your other ones, they will remain. And then it will look for a restriction with planet underscore capture for the spawn points in an area. There we go, that works. Let's just save this, and then yeah, and then we'd have another save button here. I mean, save is technically not a great word for it because we're not saving. We're I mean, the other options we can have, you have unsaved changes, maybe. It could be implanted. And then, yeah, we need the form info. But technically, this is already, like, further than the other one, because restrictions there is a lot more complex than the previous example. But then I don't know how we're gonna write this info. Because we currently don't store the info. Oops. Just knocked over my empty water. Pardon me there. Okay. That's fine. Of course, that's going to script error. So yeah, just calling this, it's not very intelligent. It doesn't understand that, oh yeah, it's unsafe, there's no changes. But that is fine. Okay, so from here, from here, we can show, we then need a save button added. There we go, panel remove. Maybe? Or do we wait for a successful response back from the server before we... I'm not sure. Oh, there's something I do want to check actually, is... Let's set disabled to be true, as that's something I was thinking about recently and I'm just curious about. Um, really, you can't disable a D panel? No, you can't do a D frame? Really? Huh, that surprises me. There you go, it's set enabled. Yeah, I want to try this. And it doesn't seem to propagate down. Okay, cool. And yeah, we're getting script error server side, which means the thing got through. So yeah, we'll just remove the menu. No need to be fancy about it. And then this side we have the set info, the set restrictions, yep, and then we save or update. Yep. Okay, that's fine. I think. I kind of dislike it actually. Oh, what have I just been tagged in? Okay. Okay then. So yeah, I don't know. I don't. I dislike this. Um. I suppose another option that we do need to do is allow for dynamic. Um. Brain. What? Yeah, allow for dynamic off creation of spawn points, so that they can be added for like events and stuff, and they're not just there permanently for an event. They can be loaded in from like pairs and stuff. Though I suppose technically you just save the information and load and remove. God, where's my brain? Come on, brain. So I don't have anything more. Yeah. And then entities needed still for. No, it's not. And then we pass in info restrictions, and then region data. And we do the same here. We pass in region data there. Though I guess we do need. Ooh, that is really starting to rain down there. Okay then. So this is overriding, yeah, spawn ID. Fine, spawn ID 2. New spawn ID, maybe. And I suppose we will also need to add a remove spawn point command as well. Had not thought about that. Okay then. Yeah. So spawn ID, we have set info, yada yada. Yeah. So now this is done as a. This will then update in sync with these commands. So technically this info. This is going to seem dumb. But what this will do is this will actually just. This will actually just return. And this does seem dumb. That this is just wrapped in itself. But the reason we're doing this is so that it means that other things can then call this as well. And let me just copy these function signatures just so that I remember them. And I will actually do this like this. One system dot down. So it's one system. Okay then. So from here, we also need to wrap these in an SQL string. Okay. Well, someone that I've been waiting for to get up has finally woken up, so I will probably be going after I finish the next couple of functions. I mean, I've been streaming for an hour. Yeah, I want to do a bit more work. Okay then. So from here, We now want to write our statement. So we want to insert into with our values of percent region ID. I need a region ID, don't I? That's what I forgot. Because map can just always be gotten from here. You're not going to modify spawn points on other maps. And if we are, we can just add a custom function for that later. Okay, so region ID, spawn point, data, spawn input restrictions, yeah. So region ID needs to be passed in. And I don't remember if that's done. Yeah, why am I doing DAO updates? Who knows? Let's define this. This is called from here. Region ID. And region ID comes from getting the primary region. The entity, yeah, that works. Yeah, this is different from how it was. And then region ID gets passed into these now. Oh god, I keep messing up my keybinds. There we go. So now pass in region ID. Region ID. To be honest, let's just simplify this greatly in a very... Do we do it in a very bad, dumb way? No, let's not. Let's do this correctly. Because as this is basically just forwarding all of this onto this, what you could do is just like, other than just actually like returning the thing, um, you could just do like 3 dots like this, and this would work. Yeah, these are currently just signature like aliases. Though we'll probably do actual validation here maybe in the future. As it is right now, I don't really think there's... Like, yeah, this could be exploited somehow, sure. I don't know why I'm just doing this as. Normally I just do it in the statement is equal to statement format. I normally just do it there. And then I call query is equal to MySQL query statement, comma, game mode. So on data. I don't think that's right at all. I'm pretty sure that's just an error message. Okay, cool. So we should now have a crate. I'm pretty sure it's... Yeah, there you go, get map. Cool. I mean, it's listed here what's needed. Yeah, there we go. I think actually this restriction shouldn't be util to JSON. I think it should actually be something else. I mean, I can check by just going to vendors. Because the vendors would do it. Okay, we do just table to JSON it. So yeah, I mean things are going to need to start being like moved closer and closer to this new design of like a dot instead of like its own tables. I mean this one's fairly simple. You just like say vendor down is equal to vendor dot down stuff. Anyway, so with the mapper, we want to return ID is equal to number or row one. Okay then. So that's a bunch of codes we've done. Find by, delete, update, create. So that's should be fully functional. Um, and then whenever we load up the game, we'll just do a find by map, get all of our spawns. So don't we complete. Okay, I'm just leaving a note for myself. I don't know what's happening after this. Like, I might still be coding, just talking to people, but who knows? But I'll keep a note for myself. Um, I should also just update some Trello as well, shouldn't I? There's not a checklist. But yes, so like this is like the reason we're doing this is because currently it relies on like spawn points being placed down, and then it loops over all the spawn points that are there, and you remove them by removing the entity, which doesn't really work when you have different regions that load in and out. So yeah, and this also now means that when you spawn in, it will look at the planet you're on, find around spawn point. If it won't, it will then probably fall back to your home world. Um, but, and that's also what you can have is you can have players what can store a primary ID as well. Um, there you go. Okay. So yep, I will end it here then. Um, it's nice to like be working on stuff again. So, see you guys.